It is said, or at least quoted everywhere, that Krishnamurti said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." If you're demoralized by the state of the world, it's no bad thing. If all you see when you look around is conflict and suffering and trouble and division and war and judgment and projection, and that somehow, gets you down, it's no bad thing. Depending, of course, on what you do with it and where it goes in. It's not just probably a sort of doorway to misery or poor me or anger or more projection. In a way, the invitation of the demoralization of seeing the world is an invitation to a deeper heartbreak, a deeper knowing, a deeper abiding in something beyond the movement of the world. An invitation to a deeper love within you, something that as if transcends the world of form. The world has always been crazy. The world has always been divided. The world, people, they fight each other, they get lost in the dream. They become corrupted. They suffer at the hands of others. And they inflict suffering on others endlessly. I've read enough history to see, because at first I thought it was just my world that was endlessly full of the wheel of corruption and suffering and division. But then I realized, by reading lots of history and looking back into time, that certainly in the last 2,000 years, I don't know, longer, there's always been trouble. There's always been fighting. There's always been violence. There's always been corruption, trouble, endlessly. And so we can't seek our peace or equanimity or depth in the world, or waiting for the world to be a calm place before we rest in a deeper level of our being. We have to do it regardless of the state of the world. So maybe if you're one of the demoralized, it's a gateway, it's a doorway, it's an invitation to see what is in you that is doing the same thing as the world. To what extent is the division in the world the division in you? To what extent is the projection and judgment the judgment in you? To see what being right, being true, being honest, being authentic, where does that live in you? What is your integrity? Can you walk in the world of the disingenuous world, the corrupt world, with integrity? Just as you are, broken, wounded, hurt, as you are, just as this is at this moment. Maybe the world is calling you to a deeper healing, to heal yourself back from the divided state. Because most people are in a divided state, and a divided state in humans creates a divided state in the world. And in so many ways, the world reflects that in each individual. And for some, that reflection is an exaggeration. And for some, it is a doorway to see what within us is divided. And is it possible to bring that division to an end? To heal all that is divided, all that is corrupted, all that sees the world through a lens of pain and suffering. And it's no easy thing necessarily, but the intensity of the world, the sickness of the world, doesn't have to be our sickness. It just doesn't have to be our sickness. But that requires a courage and a surrender of the sickness within, the sickness of divided mind, the sickness of buried emotions, the sickness of feeling disconnected or separate from our own spirit, from our true nature, from our divine essence. It means healing those aspects so that we come into a more healed version of ourselves, which is the true version of ourselves, and to stop feeding the world any more pain. The world doesn't need any more pain. The world doesn't need any more division. And we are but a small aspect, a tiny aspect of a global sickness in some ways. And there's more benefit by healing yourself and putting that into the collective pot, to put your honesty, your truth, your vulnerability, your wisdom, your power, your authority, your strength, your courage, your union within, to put that into the pot, into the melting pot of humanity. And for that to be what you carry into the world, to carry the light of your being into the darkness of the world. Because otherwise we just become victims of the world. And it's easy to do that. Very easy to do that. And with the world that we're in now, which is so full of corruption and manipulation, distortion, and nobody really knows what is true and what is not true. To thine own self be true. It can only be. It can only be now. This is the purpose of the world. The purpose of the world on many levels is not just to continue its evolution on technological or industrial or whatever levels. That's one level of it. But the other level is to point us back inside ourselves. And so now with this seeming intensification, so it's holding up the mirror in a very, very intimate, very exaggerated way, saying, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And what do you stand for? What is your truth? Never mind what their truth is. And in that way we start to give up fear, and give up the demoralization. So demoralization or disillusionment, brings us into something more profound, more true, more whole, more healed, and more powerful, more strong.